Think about the most financially secure, most careful person you know. Someone who lived through recessions, saved diligently for decades, and knows the value of a dollar. Now, imagine that person, in a moment of fear, loneliness, or just overwhelming politeness, voluntarily wires their entire life savings to a total stranger on the other side of the world. Or worse, signs over their home to a family member who suddenly became helpful. It sounds impossible. It sounds like a bad movie plot, but this isn't fiction. This is the elder fraud epidemic, and it's devastating millions of seniors globally. The numbers are staggering. In 2024 alone, Americans reported losing a record $12.5 billion to scams and fraud, and older adults consistently lose the most money per incident. Victims in their 70s, for example, report median losses far higher than those in their 20s. Why is this happening? It's not about gullibility or stupidity. It's about a cold, calculated exploitation of deep-seated human psychology, coupled with a terrifying lack of oversight. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this hidden war. We'll explore the dark psychological vulnerabilities that scammers expertly exploit, break down the chilling techniques of financial coercion, and most importantly, arm you with the knowledge and the strategies to fight back against this silent crime wave. This isn't just a story about money. It's a story about dignity, security, and the simple right to control the life you worked so hard to build. To understand the epidemic, we have to recognize that the enemy is operating on two distinct fronts, using two very different playbooks. Front 1, stranger fraud, the remote predator. This is the stuff of headlines, the slick, high-volume scams run by organized crime rings, often based overseas. The imposter scam is the most common approach. The caller pretends to be a trusted authority, the IRS, Amazon tech support, a police officer, or the classic grandparent scam. The goal is immediate, high-pressure emotional manipulation. Your grandson is in jail and needs bail now. Scammers use urgency and fear to bypass critical thinking. They pressure victims to pay with methods that are hard to trace, like gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency. Then there's the investment scam. These are the most financially devastating. Scammers promise unrealistic returns, often involving fake cryptocurrency or bogus real estate, targeting seniors who may be anxious about their fixed income keeping up with inflation. The median loss for victims in their 70s to investment scams can be over $20,000. Front 2, insider abuse, the trusted destroyer. This is the darker, more intimate, and often underreported front, committed by family members, caregivers, or trusted friends. Abuse of power involves the misuse of power of attorney. The designated person is legally allowed to manage the elder's finances, but they use that power to drain accounts, transfer deeds, or alter wills for their own benefit. Next is inheritance impatience. This is when adult children, feeling entitled to their inheritance, start pressuring or outright stealing from their parents. They see the money as theirs and feel justified in taking it early, often forcing the senior to go without necessary care or comfort. And then there's pure emotional blackmail. If you don't co-sign this loan for me, I won't let you see your grandchildren. This leverages a senior's deepest need connection and family against their financial security. But why are older adults, specifically, so often the target? The answer lies not just in their wealth, but in a delicate set of psychological vulnerabilities. Let's dispel the myth of the gullible senior. The reality is far more complex and rooted in biology and social dynamics. First, cognitive changes. As we age, certain cognitive functions shift. The prefrontal cortex, which handles complex decision-making, risk assessment, and filtering out irrelevant details, may become less efficient. At the same time, the amygdala, which processes emotion, often remains highly responsive. The result? Seniors might have difficulty recognizing a logical inconsistency, like the IRS doesn't accept gift cards, while being acutely responsive to the emotional pressure, like the fear of being arrested or letting down a loved one. This gap is where scammers live. Research shows that more rapid cognitive decline predicts increased scam susceptibility. Second is the trust factor, or what's called a positive bias. Many seniors grew up in an era where trust in institutions like banks, police, and the government was higher. They are often more agreeable and cooperative, believing people are inherently honest. This trait makes them exceptionally vulnerable to imposter scams. They are hardwired to give the benefit of the doubt. Third, and perhaps most importantly, is isolation and loneliness. This is the silent killer. Loneliness is a prime risk factor for all kinds of elder abuse. Scammers know this. Romance scams often target lonely seniors, spending months building a deep, emotional connection before the financial ask. For an isolated person, the scammer is often the only person who calls, listens, and seems to care. The need to feel useful and valued remains high, and scammers exploit the lack of this fulfillment. The scammer isn't just asking for money. They are selling a fleeting moment of connection, urgency, or relief from fear. Once that psychological door is open, scammers move in with manipulative coercion techniques that feel less like a crime and more like psychological warfare. Whether the scammer is a stranger on the phone or a relative in the next room, the core process of coercion is the same. It follows a predictable, three-step playbook designed to strip the victim of their support network. First is the isolation stage. The scammer insists the victim tell no one about the situation. Not the bank, not their family, not the police. They convince the senior that their family is either part of the problem or will be deeply disappointed in them. An insider abuser might move the elder away, cut off their phone, or criticize their friends until no one visits. This creates a vacuum where only the abuser's voice is heard. Next comes the emotional hook, where the scammer finds the greatest leverage point. It could be fear. If you don't pay the back taxes immediately, you will be arrested and lose your home. Or it could be a sense of duty. Mom, I have this great investment, but the bank won't approve me. If you co-sign, it'll save my business and the family. Sometimes it's excitement. You've won $5 million, but you must pay the processing fee right now to claim it. After the money is gone, the most devastating part of the playbook begins: the shame shield. The victim often feels deep shame, embarrassment, and guilt, blaming themselves for being foolish. This is a huge problem for law enforcement because the vast majority of elder fraud goes unreported. Victims are ashamed to tell their children, and they worry about losing their independence if their family thinks they can no longer manage their finances. This shame creates a powerful shield for the criminal, allowing them to escape and find new victims. The cycle just continues. So, what happens when this crime wave hits a critical vulnerability in our social structure? Our banks? The irony of elder fraud is that it often happens right under the nose of the one institution legally bound to watch for it. Bank tellers are the true front line against fraud, but they are often put in an impossible position. Scammers give the victim a precise script. Tell the teller the money is for a down payment on a house for your grandson. Under extreme emotional pressure, the victim often follows the script perfectly, lying to their own bank to protect the scammer, and then there are the legal hurdles. If a 75-year-old walks in and asks to wire $50,000, and they insist they are doing it willingly, the teller's hands are often tied. They can file a suspicious activity report, but they can't legally block the transaction unless they can prove the customer is incapacitated or under duress. A high legal bar that takes time the scammer doesn't allow. Vigilant tellers are trained to spot red flags, sudden large withdrawals, uncharacteristic bank transfers, or new signatories on an account. But with the rise of instant digital payments and cryptocurrency, the criminal's transaction speed now outpaces the bank's ability to intervene. To truly fight back, we need to empower banks without violating customer autonomy. Some states have passed laws giving banks temporary legal immunity to delay transactions when they suspect fraud, giving family or authorities time to step in. It's easy to feel hopeless, but the fight back begins now. And it starts with a simple shift in how we talk about and prepare for aging. The goal of our counter strategy isn't to take away independence, it's to fortify it. The best defense is proactive planning, long before cognitive changes or a scammer's call creates an emergency. First, legal preparation. Every senior and their family should prepare 2 key documents while the senior is of sound mind: a durable power of attorney, which names a trusted person to handle finances if they become incapacitated, and healthcare directives, which name a person to make medical decisions. The key is transparency. The power of attorney should only be used when necessary, and the agent must be someone of unquestionable trust. Second, financial firewalls. You can protect someone's accounts without taking control. Consider setting up a smaller, secondary account for daily spending, while limiting access to main retirement accounts. Work with the bank to designate a trusted contact person on the account. This person can't transact, but the bank can call them if they see suspicious activity. And offer to review statements monthly, not out of distrust, but as a shared duty to catch errors and fraud. Finally, the social shield. Social connection is arguably the most powerful defense. Encourage participation in community groups, clubs, or regular neighborhood activities. A strong social network provides a sounding board of friends who can say, "Wait, that sounds like a scam," before a decision is made. Neighbors and friends often notice changes long before the family does. Finally, we need to know the specific modern traps, the new scams that exploit everything from our patriotism to our desire for better health. Scammers are constantly evolving their tactics. We must keep up. The tech support scam remains one of the most widely reported forms of elder fraud. A pop-up appears on the computer, claiming a virus has been detected, or an unsolicited call comes in claiming to be from Microsoft or Apple. They remotely access the computer, fix a non-existent problem, and then demand hundreds or even thousands of dollars, often gaining access to banking details in the process. Then there's government impersonation. Scammers pretend to be from the Social Security Administration or a Veterans Affairs agency. They'll claim the victim's benefits are about to be cut off unless they verify their account with sensitive information or a payment. They exploit a senior's sense of civic duty and their fear of losing that crucial safety net. And the new frontier? Cryptocurrency scams. Investment scams are increasingly funneled into fake crypto trading platforms. Scammers will patiently walk a victim through creating an account and then let them watch their investment grow rapidly on a fake dashboard. This prompts them to sink more and more money in, right before the entire site vanishes without a trace. The key takeaway for everyone is this: no legitimate business or government agency will ever demand immediate payment via wire transfer or gift card. They won't call you and threaten you with arrest. If someone pressures you to act now or orders you to keep it a secret, it is 100% a scam. We've seen the sheer scale of the elder fraud epidemic, the cynical psychological warfare used to steal billions, and the devastating impact it has on the dignity and security of our loved ones. It's easy to focus on the crimes, but the real takeaway here is the power of our collective action. The fight against elder fraud is not the sole responsibility of the victim. It is a shared societal responsibility. So, what are the 3 most important things we need to do? First, eliminate the shame. We must actively end the victim-blaming culture. Falling for a sophisticated scam is not a moral failing. It's being targeted by professional criminals. We need to create safe spaces for victims to report what happened without any fear of judgment. Second, plan proactively. Use legal tools like a durable power of attorney and financial tools like a trusted contact person before a crisis hits. These are simple steps that provide a powerful shield. And third, stay connected. The best fraud detection system ever invented is a vigilant family member or a close friend. Social isolation is the criminal's most powerful weapon. The antidote is regular, loving connection. The older adults in our lives built the world we live in. They deserve to live their final years in security and peace, not in fear of the next phone call. By understanding the tactics of coercion, by fortifying their independence, and by making the conscious choice to be vigilant, we can push back against this epidemic and ensure their hard-earned legacy is protected. Do you have a personal experience or story about how you or a loved one fought back against a scam? Share it in the comments below. Your stories are our greatest tools for education. If you found this video helpful in arming yourself and your family against fraud, please hit that like button, share this video with someone you care about, and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden dynamics of the modern world. Thanks for watching, and look out for one another.